Is this a handicap match or?
No, it's what's called a three-way or a triple threat.
Okay, I've heard of those before. And this guy on the left is super crazy.
Yeah, so the Hispanic performer on the left is super crazy, and the guy who just did the drop kick is Yoshihiro Tajiri, who you've seen wrestle before in little blue trunks, but now he's wearing the pants. And on the right is your favorite little Guido, who has the largest feet in the history of wrestling.
You know what that means?
Big shoes.
Big shoes.
But the Paul Heyman push of little Guido is, I mean, he was really the backbone of FBI, the full-blooded Italians, and he was nicknamed the Italian Shooter. And what maybe he lacked on size, and he really brought it. And he was one of those guys who, like a lot of other guys in ECW, had multiple jobs. But Super Crazy and Tajiri are sort of the latest flavor of the month in ECW, always having an international flair for the talent on the card. These are two talents that maybe weren't super mainstream prior to ECW, but they're both going to wind up with WWE deals as a result of this, as did little Guido.
They're doing some pretty good stuff here.
Yeah.
And as they do this stuff here, you know what? The New Jack stories, I think those New Jack stories are going to haunt me for months.
What?
They just, well, I mean, we've talked about crazy things in wrestling and, you know, I mean, we even talked about the time Harley Race hit Ricky Steamboat in the eye to make the eye, you know, puff up and make it look real. But that stabbing a guy, what the fuck? Hitting a 70-year-old with a baseball bat, stabbing a guy. My good God. It's a wonder he didn't get arrested at arenas. Or maybe he did. Jesus. Anyway, back to the action. Here we go. So little Guido was the head of the FBI.
He's sort of the backbone of it. You remember Tracy Smothers, Tommy Rich. They're both from Nashville, Italy.
Right.
They also had another guy, an African-American gentleman, who would contend that he was in fact Italian-American. JT Smith. You would have really liked him. That's early ECW. I got to show you one day.
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you this, since we've been doing live shows and, you know, since we've had a lot of friends and fans that
there's a fan in the front row wearing a fucking helmet. I just noticed that for the first time. He just moved out. He's right by our cameraman to the right. He is legit wearing a helmet in the front row. This is the most well-prepared ECW fan ever.
Is it like, I didn't see it, is it like a football helmet or?
It's like a helmet that you used to put on Jobber Schiavone when he was little. When y'all would put him on the leash. See right there?
Yeah.
See,
that's like a motorcycle helmet.
It's exactly what, you know, you used to put that harness on little Jobber Schiavone whenever y'all go out in public. You'd have to put the helmet on.
Where'd the fat guy come in from?
He's a member of the FBI. That's Big Sally Graziano.
Oh, yeah, that's right. May your first child be a masculine child. Don Corleone.
How about for 600 pounds, Sally Graziano hopped right out of that ring pretty easy.
Yes, he did.
I was like, damn, look at there.
Let me get out of here before I drop dead of a heart attack too.
He is dead, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, did it happen here?
I don't know that he's dead. I'm just freestyling.
Okay. But I was going to say that with our friends and that we've come to know, and isn't it great that we've gotten to know Tommy Rich?
Oh, Tommy Rich is tremendous.
Isn't he one of the great characters of all time? I mean, really, if you know Tommy like we do, I didn't realize this, how funny he is. God, he kills me, man. He is absolutely one of the funniest guys ever. And you got him up on our live show and tried to get him to talk, and he wasn't going to buy any of it, man.
No, he was not having it.
No, he was not. That's good. Tommy being Tommy. But he's a friend of the show, as is Tracy Smothers. And you know what? That's one thing that you've done for me. Well, obviously, the big thing you've done for me is get me back in the business. Jesus. But one of the things that you've done for me is that you have connected me and with a lot of people in wrestling that normally I wouldn't have connected with, former wrestlers, current wrestlers, and I've become friends with. And I appreciate that. I have a lot of respect for everybody in the business. Everybody, especially guys who take bumps and cut themselves and go through tables and chairs and, love the business. I really think that to be a performer in the business, and this, I may be wrong, but I think to be a good performer in the business in this day and age, you have to have a respect and a realization and a knowledge of what happened in the past. And I think most of the guys who perform these days do.
I feel like you're like low key saying goodbye to your listeners right now.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not low key saying goodbye to my listeners, man. This podcast, January 2017 started the train that's changed my life. So no, I'm not saying goodbye to them. But it's just I'm just talking about how my love of pro wrestling has returned.
Well, and I'm for it. I support it. I'm for it.
Yeah, and I'm going to now, be going to AEW shows and the TNT shows that we're going to have starting in October, and I'm going to meet some new wrestlers and new performers, and I got to meet the women of AEW at the latest Starrcast, and so yeah, it's great, man. It's great being back into it. Thank you.
What was your highlight of Starrcast?
My highlight of Starrcast? I think my highlight of Starrcast was actually, honestly, and I'm not sucking up, okay, but doing the show with Cody.
Yeah.
And it's because I know his mom very, very, very well.
Whoa. I'm not going to let you disparage the good goddamn name of Shelly.
No, I'm not despair. I love Michelle. She's one of my favorite people of all time. Her and Lois are friends. Michelle and Kevin, her friend, came to the christening of one of our grandchildren. We are close friends of the family.
Came to the wedding, bro. I sat with them.
Yes. So I'd like to also say that I'm friends with them, and my love of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, made that time with Cody special for me. And not just the fact that I'm working with him now. So it just, I felt the same way when I saw Cody and Dustin wrestle in Las Vegas at Double or Nothing. You just get that feeling, man. It brings you back.
Okay.
So see, not everything I need to say on here is silly.
No. Oh, it's good stuff. I appreciate you sharing.
But it was special being able to host that.
I wish you could have seen the Janela Palooza. That would have been your jam.
Well, I'm a busy man.
No, I understand. You got 19 jobs.
Not anymore. Now I've got 18.
Are you going to make an announcement here?
Oh yeah, I've already. Well, I've given my notice to the baseball team.
I mean, I knew, but I don't think you told everybody listening.
No, I haven't really made that. I mean, the baseball team knows, and people in baseball know, but I've decided that I've got I've got a great job now. I'm working for great people, and that's important. See, that is what's important in life. And here is a tip from an old guy who's done a lot of jobs. Make sure you work for good people. Make sure you work for good people. And Tony Khan, Cody Rhodes, the Bucks, good people. Conrad Thompson, full of shit, good people. The Georgia Bulldogs, great people. The Atlanta Braves, great people. That's important in life. You got to be happy in your job.
So, no, I won't stir it up. I'll just let it go. Hey,
you really want to stir shit up here, don't you?
I do like it. I can't help it. But I'll tell you what, a lot of people are going to take issue with you lumping me in the good people category.
But that's because those people don't know you.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. But recently, I did an interview a couple weeks ago, I guess, with Matt Kuhn, trying to get his piece of shit podcast nobody listens to over. And he said, "Hey man, can you do me a favor, man?" Blah, blah, blah. And I said, "Oh yeah. So I did it." And he asked me about WWE getting into podcasting. And I said something like, well, the golden age of wrestling podcasting is over. If you think you're just going to like, hey, we're going to start a show and then all this money is going to pour in, because advertising has really changed in that medium since there was a major player in the market, sort of fudging the numbers that everybody got paid on. And when they exited, it caused a bit of a run on the bank, and a lot of talent jumped ship from one place to the other. And now the new place is figuring out, hey, some of those numbers that we were expecting were bullshit because they were reported by the other place. So some of the ad revenue has dried up, and that's trickled down everywhere now that there's been more sort of regulation and uniformity with the way downloads are measured. So at this point, a lot of wrestling podcasts have went away. They are no more. And I expect that will continue, sort of a thinning out of the herd, because at this point it's really down to two sets of folks who are doing really big numbers, or folks who are in it for the love of the game. Well, apparently a lot of, sort of DIY podcasts took great issue with this and said that I was telling them to get out of podcasting, and they've been in podcasting for longer than me, and who am I to tell them to leave? I never said anybody should quit podcasting. Dude, do what you want and have fun. I was explaining that if WWE thinks they're going to come in and there will be this huge influx of cash and a new revenue stream, they may have been sold a bill of goods based on the way CPMs are working for wrestling podcasts in 2019. Of course, that's not what some people want to hear. They want to, Conrad, who's only been podcasting for 4 years, tells me to fuck off, but I've been at 10 years. Fuck you. I didn't say you weren't. Have fun. Who cares? However, the business model has changed, and a lot of the DIY podcasts who took issue with what I was saying, I've never actually been in that CPM advertising agency conversation. So they're not even, you don't even really know what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that to be ugly, but I mean, clearly I was in a veiled way talking about podcast one and how it fucking collapsed, but people didn't want to bite on that. And instead thought that I was telling them that what they're doing sucks. That's not true at all. I'm very supportive of every podcast except Jay-Z's and Matt Coon's. And I don't support those because they're turds. And even, how about this? Even that's not true because I'm a guest on those shows and like those guys in real life, and I'm busting balls and trying to help them by mentioning them and plugging their stuff. But whatever, if you're looking for a reason to hate me, then add that one to the list. Roll Tide.
Well, it comes down to this. I really think I can simplify it. People that are hating on you because of what you said. There are people in life that get it, and there are people in life that don't get it. And
some of it is just based on jealousy, and that's going to fire some up. But I mean, there's a couple of guys out there who just hate everything I do and jump at the chance to shit on it. And they take great pride in the fact that they've been doing it for 10 years and have had fraction of the success. And they've got all these excuses as to why. And, you know, they say, oh, well, you've got this or you did that and I would never do this. Dude, it's not a competition. Like, go have fun. Who cares? But if we're going to compare downloads, I'm going to hit you with that old Rocky IV. You will lose. If we're going to compare revenue, I'm going to hit you with that Rocky IV. You will lose. If we're going to count, you know, any metric of any success, whether it's relationships with agencies or all of my co-hosts having big time jobs in wrestling, or being on the WWE network, or doing European tours, or doing live shows, or whatever. But yes, I'm an asshole, and I married a wrestler's daughter, and I'm fat, and whatever. So thanks for listening. And how about this match we just talked over? Yeah, I'm sad that we didn't spend more time on it, but at the same time, if it's a really good match, there's only so much we can do with it, because we like to shit on things. But there you go. 3.5 stars.
And Nitro, New World Order and the Crow, Thunder Russo, Arquette Champ, Vinnie Mac, simulcast. Tony's back with Conrad, not your classy podcast. Watch along, try not to laugh. Lowest rules can't pass. This wasn't the initial plan. Tom Zigg's a good